Good afternoon, boys and girls. We're going to review our 3D shapes. Earlier we talked about our 2D shapes. Now we're going to talk about our 3D shapes. What are 3D shapes? 3D shapes are anything that are three-dimensional. In other words, they're not flat, like all our shapes that we cut out and put on our board here and that we talked about earlier. 3D shapes have a face instead of sides. So that means that they can stand. So for example, this shape. We've got a circle on the bottom, so that's one face. Then we've got another circle on the other side. So see how I flipped that around? And that's a second face. So those are two faces, and then all this is flat. And if you put it on a flat surface, it can roll. So we're going to count how many faces our 3D shapes have. And I lost my marker, so we'll just use this one. So that we don't get mixed up, we're going to put, we're going to put numbers on our faces. So this is number 1 and number 2. So this has two faces. Anybody know what this shape is called? If you're not sure, I've got the names right up here, and I'm starting with this one, and it's called a cylinder. So I made my cylinder out of a toilet paper roll, and I just covered up the ends with circles. You could use, if you have blocks at home, there might be some cylinder-shaped blocks, or say a yogurt container or a jar. Those would be cylinder type things that you would find around your house. So this is one, our first one, our cylinder. And we counted, we said there was one circle face, two faces. So we have two faces. Are there any vertices on a cylinder? Remember, on a circle, there was no vertices, 0. So are there any points that meet on our cylinder? That's right, you guessed it. No, there are none. Next, we're going to go to a sphere. And a sphere is a ball. And it's completely round and it rolls around. So I've got a little sphere here. What else could you use for a sphere? I bet if you guys had big balls at home, that would be a sphere. Oh, a perfect round ice cream scoop would be a sphere shape. So we've got our sphere there. Does it have any faces? Faces would be flat. There's nothing flat about a ball. So no faces and no vertices. So our next shape is a triangular prism. We are going to count all the sides to this. There are many faces. Oops, did I say sides? Ugh, I did it again. Faces, just like this. So we're going to count how many faces our triangular prism is. And why do you think we call it a triangular prism? Ah, you got it, because the two side faces are triangle shapes. You're right. So we're going to start with the triangle faces that we're going to count first. So we're going to do number 1. Then I'm going to flip it all the way around and mark this number 2. Then on the top, it almost kind of looks like a roof on your house. So there's a 3D triangular prism. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to flip it to the bottom and number this number 5. So you help me count 5 faces on our triangular prism. Now we're going to try and count the vertices. So those are the points where all the faces meet. This one's going to be a tough one. I'm going to try and do like a circle so I can count. So that was 1. Oh, and I'm not getting a very good center on this camera. 2, 3, 4. I'll flip it over. 5, 6. So we've got 6 points. 2 here, so that's 2. Let's count by 2s. 2, 4, 6. We have 6 points or vertices on our triangular prism. Oh, this is interesting. For our 2D shapes, however many sides, we had equal number of vertices. But for our 3D shapes, the number of faces are not identical to the number of vertices. So here we had 2 faces, 1, 2, but no vertices. Here we've got 5 faces, but 6 vertices. Interesting. So that's another aspect of 2D and 3D shapes that differ. Okay, next we're going to the cube. And a cube is, you guessed it, a square. And it's square on all sides, all the way around. It's square. So let's count how many faces our cube has. Okay, let's see if Mrs. K can get this right. This camera business is very challenging. So 1, and I'm just going to go straight around. 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to go to the top. 5, and now I'm going to flip it to the bottom. 6. 6 faces. I wonder how many vertices we're going to have. So we have 1 vertice. Whoop, let me hold it up here. This corner where they all meet. 2. I'm doing lines on all the sides there. 1, 2. Now I'm going to go to this. 3, 4. So those are the top. We have 4 on the top, and I'm going to flip it over and get the bottom ones. 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 vertices. So let's count by 2s. Let's just double check to make sure we got this right. I'm getting all dizzy making little dots everywhere. So we have 2 vertices at the top here and another 2. So 2 and 2 is 4, 6, 8. And you see how I'm using 2 fingers? And that's how I'm counting. So 2, 4, 6, 8. And we wrote 8. Perfect. 8 vertices. So let's stick our cube here. Okay, our next is going to be the rectangular prism. And our rectangular prism is called that because the main face is a rectangle. And then the other face is a rectangle. And we have another rectangle. You remember, what's the difference between a rectangle and a square? That's right. The rectangle has 2 long sides and 2 short sides. But the square has 4 equal sides, always. Okay, so let's do it again. Let's count all the faces. And if we don't put markings on it, it's so hard to know where you started from when you keep spinning it around. I'm making myself dizzy. So we're going to start with the great big faces. And we're going to number them. 1, and then I'm going to flip it to the other side and number this number 2. Now I'm going to start going around on the skinny faces. So I'm going to start here. So we did number 1, number 2. We'll go up here to number 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 faces. Let's write that down before we forget. 6 faces. Oh, just like the square. Let's count how many vertices, so how many points or corners our rectangular prism has. So I'm going to start at the front. Oh, let's start this way. So I'm going to put little dots here to make sure I got all my corners. So that's 1, 2 vertices. We're going to go down here, 3, 4. Then I'm going to turn it around, 5, 6, 7, and down here, last corner, 8. So we have 8 vertices on our rectangular prism. And just the same as our cube, and just as we have the cube and square here have the same number of sides and vertices, that's the same for the 3D shapes. So let's go to number 1 and put it on the side there. Okay. After that, we've got a cone shaped. A cone, ha! Yeah, that's why it's called a cone. You got it. Just like eating ice cream. And the weather's getting warmer. I can't wait. And hopefully we'll be able to get outside pretty soon so we can go and buy some ice cream. Otherwise, if you have some at home, maybe you'll be able to sit on your veranda soon or on your balconies and enjoy a scoop of ice cream. So our cone has what kind of a face on our cone? And the face, remember, is the flat part. That's right, it's a circle. So we have one face. Would this be called a face? No, because it's round and it rolls on a flat surface. So we have just one face for the cone. One face. Do we have any points on our cone? We don't have any points down here. Ah, yes, we have one vertice as well. So one face and one vertice. And we're going to stick our cone on like this. And our last shape is a pyramid. Why is this different than our triangular prism? Because I see a triangle shape here. 3 sides and 3 vertices. The reason this is called a pyramid and this is called a triangular prism is because of the bottom face. What shape is that bottom face? That's right, square. So a pyramid has one square face and 4 triangular faces. And that is a pyramid. So, we just counted everything. Anyway, let's count all the faces together. So we have one face on the, let me start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the bottom will be 5. So we have 5 faces on our pyramid. And let's count the vertices. So we have 1 at the top. So we're going to make marks all around. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yep, I'm double checking. I marked all my vertices. So we have 2 in the front, 2 in the back, so 2, 4, and 1 on top makes 5. Fantastic. So a pyramid has equal faces and vertices. And I think that's our, and the cone also has equal faces and vertices. That'll be best to put there. Okay, so we've talked about our 2D shapes that are flat and our 3D shapes that are 3-dimensional, and they are up and above when you put them on a table or a flat surface. So you can see how this is elevated and this is flat. So that's the difference between 3D shapes and 2D shapes. Okay, boys and girls, after this, I'm going to get an activity. I hope you have fun to do, just to practice and remember and call out the shapes to help you. Okay, see you soon.